as much as it was the injuries, which it was, as much as it was the time away, the additional thing was he was on a list to be quarterback on a list that didn't want him to be the starting quarterback. So, that couldn't have been very good. So now security is the biggest thing that Calgary offered him, right, David? I mean, there really wasn't anybody there who's going to take over the job. He's got a real good handle on being starting quarterback there. So, he does his best work when he's not feeling, pressure, because everywhere he's been, David, there's always been somehow a quarterback that comes in. Going back to Manziel, a quarterback comes in, and now that quarterback is the guy. That quarterback is going to be the guy, and he hears footsteps. Security is the best thing that the team has given him. And so my answer is, it is the team that's helping him to be successful, but only because he has the basic talent to be successful. But the palate now assists him in succeeding, and that's the important thing, I think, for Vernon Adams.
I think the big one here too is I see Calgary went out, didn't mess around, and they got the best quarterback they believed that was out there, and he probably was the best quarterback really available. And yeah, they told him, "You're the guy. This is plan A. There's no plan B, plan C. You are our quarterback." And I do think you're right, Frank. There is something to be said about a team that puts that onus on, especially for Calgary, to kind of tell Vernon Adams, "You're the guy. Like we think you're still more than capable." And Frank, that there's players like Vernon who, when a team says we don't need you anymore, they take that to heart a little bit. Now, look, there are other guys that Calgary has brought in, but no one, I'm not hearing anybody talk about those.
No immediate threat.
There's no immediate threat, and so if you're like that must feel like that to have that. That's probably what he felt like when Nathan Rourke left BC to go to the NFL. He's probably like, "All right, my shot right here," and then it wasn't anymore.
Until it wasn't his team, yeah.
Until it wasn't his team, even like in Montreal.
Absolutely,
he was there. They brought in Johnny Manziel. Like what?
And each time, and in Montreal, he was playing well. That was the scary thing there that happened to him. He was developing a reputation for making it now as that was the first opportunity that he had to establish that he was a legitimate Canadian Football League starting quarterback. That was a moment, and it was, he ended up like the carpet pulled out from under him. Okay, let's move on to BC and Montreal. Montreal loses their second game. They lose it to BC, a team that's been up and down, and they lose it by 1 point. For me, that 1 point is important. Why it's important to me is that there is this new resurging Montreal Alouette team. One of the characteristics that they have had over the past, 2-3 years is that they've won the close games. This one must hurt, because this is the kind of game where their defense can make a big difference and their offense can do enough to win. It didn't happen, either of those things.
Do you mean it hurt because of the punches thrown at the end of the game? Or hurt because of the results?
That's the follow-up. We'll go with that as that's the follow-up question.
Yeah, I mean, this game was in Montreal's hands. Like they allowed 12 points in the fourth quarter to lose it. Now, but here's the thing, though. Like, Nathan Rourke was having a pretty good game, right? Like, it felt like it was a matter of time until maybe things were going to go their favor. But Montreal, give them credit, like they kept that lead. But this is where the quarterback kind of wins you a game.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what Nathan Rourke did. Now, was it pretty? Your quarterback throws for 352 yards, and he runs for he almost put up 400 yards of total offense, and he only had 21 points to show for it. I thought for McLeod, it was a good bounce back game for him. I thought, Montreal was doing good things with the running game. But in the end, I mean, BC just turned that other gear when it mattered. And, credit to Sean White for knocking down the three field goals he had. Those were big too. But, definitely a game for Montreal where you just like, this is not the way we want to lose that game. And now, they're on a bye. Hamilton can be like, here we are, right with you at the. I remember everyone at the start of the year thought, Montreal's going to run away with this division. Mm-hmm. The injury to Davis Alexander doesn't help, but
that is number one quarterback, Canadian Football League, minimum requirement to win. You can get away with it for a little bit, but you can't get away with it for long if you don't have a legit starting quarterback. Now, while most of the penalties were at the end of the game, still 146 yards in penalties to Montreal, 50 the other way. That doesn't help. Discipline is an issue, and it's an issue especially for a team that likes playing on the edge. Hey, David, they need to play on the edge and not go over the edge. And we saw that they can go over the edge in that game.
Well, that's it, right? Like, sometimes teams don't lose, but they beat themselves. And in a way, Montreal kind of did that to themselves. But I'm very surprised, Frank. This is the year, and I have to ask somebody. It really does feel like this is the year that we've seen the most undisciplined play from multiple teams. I think almost a majority of teams would say that they've been guilty of being undisciplined, and it costing either almost costing them games or costing them games.